Welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities. Presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about me: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, two-time best-selling author, speaker, co-host of the Tammy Collins Marquee Radio Show, co-founder of Sweetheart Scouts nonprofit, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network LLP, and vice president of sales and marketing for Melanie People magazine. Today we have a special guest by the name of Tiana Patrice. A little bit about her. Tiana Patrice is a captivating three-time best-selling author and transformational global speaker and trainer who holds a deep passion for supporting the personal, leadership, and entrepreneur development of leaders all over the world. As an award-winning international speaker, Tiana specializes in equipping leaders to shift their mindset, own their power, and push through fear. She is the founder of Women's CEO Alliance, a full-service consulting and co-working company that focuses on bettering small businesses and corporate entrepreneurs through personal and business development. She excels at helping her clients identify their purpose, possibilities, create intentional strategies, and execute on their dreams. Her message of empowerment has been spotlighted on the Huffington Post, ABC, CBS, NBC, Forbes, and many other media outlets. Tiana Patrice is the author of the best-selling book, 52 Shades of Fearless, Powerful Declarations for the Purpose-Driven Woman, and Dear Fear, Volume 1 and 2, and Dear 15. In these books, she encourages women and girls to join the movement, a million fearless strong, and empowers and inspires them to shift their mindset, declare greatness over their lives, stand on faith, and make the conscious decision to fearless. She is a graduate of the University of Alabama at Birmingham with a BS degree in health administration. Tiana holds certifications from her corporate career in leadership, empathy, listening, and motivation. After coaching more than 500 individuals in career advancement and creating university campaigns, Tiana now spends her time helping other leaders create winning teams, excelling in their career and personal life, and more. Tiana's vulnerability of sharing her story empowers leaders to keep pushing when things seem impossible. Her vibrant personality and natural gift of connecting with others incites a spark among her audience to take immediate action outside of their comfort zone. Let go of the self-limiting beliefs, divorce their fears, and reach their fullest potential. She is a wife, mother of three, a woman of faith. So she is a wife, mother, and three of woman of faith. Welcome, Tiana Patrice.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm honored and humbled to interview you today, and thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to make time for this interview.
Absolutely.
So I know I read your amazing bio, but would you please tell listeners, Tiana, more about you?
Oh, wow. I was listening to the bio, and I was like, man, is she talking about me? The biggest thing, I know that everyone kind of likes to hear the accolades, but at the end of the day, y'all, what's the most important thing that about me is I am a woman of faith. I would not be doing any of this without God's grace. I am the vessel that He is using, and I say, Lord, I will keep going until you say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Of course, my faith, and then I'm a wife. I am Donald's wife, as I am Deja, Chloe's, and Phoebe's mom. So everyone always says, you're a mom of three. I thought you only had two girls. And I have to remind people, listen, I got like a 13-year-old Pumapoo. She came first. So, but yeah, those are the, I appreciate the accolades, and I thank God for giving me the platform to be able to continue to push His movement. And I, without Him, none of this will be possible. So the accolades are cool, but at my core, it's about my faith and my family. And so that's really what I want, people to know, even most about me. That's what's important to me right there.
And those are definitely facts about Tiana. You know, I'm part of her Dear Fear movement, and she is a woman of faith, and she stands strong to that before anything else. So, Tiana, would you please walk listeners through your entrepreneur journey because it's amazing. So, would you please walk them through how everything started and where you are now?
Yeah, of course. Gosh, where do I start? My journey started and then it stopped and then it started full term again. And so I remember just really in a season of my life when I was just so broken, and I think when I was younger, I always knew that I was meant for more. I remember telling my grandmother she would be in the kitchen, she'd be cooking. You know, my story is I was raised by a single parent and a praying grandmother. So I'm standing on my grandmother's prayers. I'm standing in her legacy. And so I remember growing up, I would always say to my grandmother, I know I'm going to be something special. I know I'm going to do something. Like I always knew that I was called to do something big, that I was called to be more, and that I was called to be able to help others. I knew at a very young age that my words would transform and shift the trajectory of people's lives. And so I knew that at a young age. I just didn't know what that looked like. And so, of course, we all go on our journeys and things of that nature. But I remember I was in a season of my life that, God was stripping me, and I called it my pruning season. And I tell anybody, when you're going through a pruning season, you better hurry up and figure out why you're in that season and get out of it. And so for me, God took me through a pruning season very, very early in life. Like I was only, maybe 22, 23, something like that. My daughter was 1 year old, so maybe like 23. And so I remember going through this pruning season. I had lost my job. Like life was just crazy for me. Like everything was just, the part of life that made you want to give up. And so that was my story. I was in a space where I wanted to give up. And so I remember just praying, okay, God, save me, use me, whatever you do, have your way. And so he took me through this pruning season of having to humble myself. And so as a leader, in order to be able to teach leadership, in order to be able to serve in the capacity that you need to serve as a leader, that comes with humility. And so he took me through this season of having to humble myself. I ended up starting my first company because at this point I was like, okay, God, I need to be able to make some money. What am I good at? And that's kind of how my entrepreneurship journey started. So I started in Atlanta, Georgia with a party bus company called Exclusive by Tiana. I was doing strategic partnerships before I even knew what they were. I partnered with a partner party bus company. I created this persona called Party Bus Barbie. And I was doing the thing. However, at that particular time, my now husband and I, we were living on two separate sides of, the U.S. He was in Vegas. I was in Atlanta. And so I was a physical single parent. And so that life of party bus and all of that at midnight, it was not compatible with that, with having a daughter that was 1 year old. And so I ended up having to stop that company and I went back to corporate. However, again, that was a part of my humble season. And so God allowed me to stay in corporate for about another year and a half before I ended up retiring when I was 25 years old, and I haven't looked back. That journey of retiring, what that looked like was me again knowing that there was more for me and stepping out on faith to be able to do it. Was I afraid? Yes, absolutely, I was afraid. And most people say, well, if you were so afraid, you should have stayed behind the desk. But for me, I was more afraid of what life would look like had I not made that leap. And so because of that, I had to jump. And one of the things that my grandmother would always tell me growing up is she embedded in me that home is always home, which means that you always have something that you can fall back on, but don't be afraid to jump. Don't be afraid to leap. And so I took the leap into entrepreneurship, helping women explore the possibilities of their life, giving them clarity. I started out as a clarity coach. I went from career coaching and doing, amazing things in the healthcare field to going into clarity coaching for women in business. And because when I first started my business, I did not have all the answers. Who does, right? We still don't have all the. I still don't have all the answers. But when I first started, I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the answers. I didn't have the team. I didn't have all the support. People didn't understand what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like you have all these things that are kind of coming against you, and fear comes up and says you should have stayed in corporate. You're not smart enough to do this. You're not enough. Who's going to want to, be a part of your business? Who's going to want to pay you? All this different stuff. But I kept pushing, and I made a vow that when I figured it out, no to struggle alone as long as she was willing. And I still stand by that vow, which is why, I have the company Women's CEO Alliance. And I do the things with, Dear Fear in the movement, because as long as a woman is willing, and now we even work with men as well. So God is just faithful how he allows everything to come full circle. So as long as someone is willing to be able to live their best life, to be able to get the clarity that they need, then we have tools and resources to be able to help them. But all of those tools and resources came from a season of struggle. And so, for anyone who is listening, if you are in your season of struggle, if you're in your season of feeling like you are at your breaking point, just know that there is purpose for this season. And on the other side of that is an opportunity for you to be able to help someone else get closer to their destiny as you're getting closer to yours. And so that's just a little bit about my journey.
Yes, and I mean she has an amazing journey. Retiring at the age of 25, now you own multiple businesses, and you have an awesome Dear Fear movement that is powerful, and you have other great things that I know I'll let you speak about soon that you're about to do. So it's just awesome. Tiana Patrice is pretty amazing. So Tiana, I know you spoke on Women's CEO Alliance a few moments ago. So could you tell them the different resources that you all provide and how they can, contact you and get in touch with you to purchase your services?
Absolutely. So, what's so interesting about Women's Sea Alliance is how it came about. So, I had just moved back home to Dothan, Alabama. My grandmother at the time was alive; she was still here with us, and I ended up getting this office downtown. At the time, didn't even need an office, but I remember getting this office, and the office on the wall had this big whiteboard inside a frame. It was so beautiful. And I remember that season again of going through the struggle, right? I didn't know this. I wrote down, I wish I still had, I remember it was on an orange sheet of paper. I wrote down everything I didn't know in business, everything I had to figure out, everything I had to struggle with. And I made a vow, remember, to be able to provide those resources to other women. And so I remember on this whiteboard, I wrote out, here's what this company, I did not know it was called Women's CEO Alliance. So this was back in like 2014, 2015. I had no idea it was called Women's CEO Alliance. I wrote out the business model of this company. And I said, one day, God, I'm going to be able to have a company where we provide all the resources that a woman needs. Because one of the things that happens with people in business is they go over here to get a website done. They go over here to get coached. They go over here to write a book. They go, and none of it aligns. And so that's why so many women, particularly in business, are struggling because they've gotten all of these resources from all of these different places that don't align with who they are at their core. And so I said, Lord, I want a business where we provide all of the resources that a woman needs. And if we don't have it, we can connect with someone in a strategic partnership that has it. And so that's what Women's Sea Alliance is. So we launched the online community November 2017. And so with the online community, we started out with the business coaching, the branding, the marketing, web design, personal development, leadership development. And then on that same board, I remember writing, and then God, there's going to be a place, a space. I see it. I've seen it in the vision. There's going to be a place, a space where we'll be able to provide these resources. At this time, I didn't know it was called co-working, where we'd be able to provide these resources for women to be able to come in and get these resources inside of a physical headquarters. And so I launched the online community November 2017. And remember, here's the thing about God. He says, I have to trust you with the little before I can bless you with the lot. And so he trusted me with that small, that community, and building the relationship. And that's where we came up with, we create businesses that matter and sisterhoods that last. Because every one of our clients have relationships with one another and with this community. And so a little over a year later, just a little over a year later, we were able to launch the co-working company. So the full vision came to circle to pass. And so now we provide, branding, marketing, business coaching, speaking development, all of that, as well as now we have a headquarters where women can come in and host their events. They can get business success workshops, even if they just need to come in and relax. And so that's where Women's CEO Alliance is right now, but it's still much bigger than this, that we just haven't, been able to tap into that part of the promise yet, but it's coming. So if anyone wants more information about how to, get access to those services, you can go over to www.womensceoalliance.com. womensceoalliance.com, or you can send us an email at info@womenceoalliance.com.
I love it. And she is doing amazing with this. And I know, Tiana, you have some plans to branch out as well. Do you think you'll be doing it virtual too for people who might, in other states or out, out of the country or things like that? Are you thinking you're going to do it virtual maybe?
Absolutely. So by the summer, we will have our online co-working community. So our online business incubator community, where the same workshops that we use with our VIP clients and inside of the headquarters, we'll have those inside of a membership community online for no matter where you are to be able to grow to the place that you want to be.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations
Thank
on that.
you.
It's amazing. So, what would you tell listeners who want to step out and start their own business, but they are afraid? What would you say to them?
The first thing is, one, understand that fear is the enemy. And the enemy does three things: comes in to kill, steal, and destroy if you allow it to. And so you have to make a decision to stand up and allow your faith to be bigger than your fear. But the first thing I would encourage you to do is certainly decide, are you launching your business because it's popular, or is it because of purpose? There's so much, launching because of popularity these days, and that's where trends come in. And of course, we know that trends fade. But when we come, in things on purpose, purpose doesn't fade. Purpose grows. Purpose transforms. Purpose transitions. Purpose allows people to pivot. And so first decide why you're launching your business. And when you know that why is bigger than your fear, that why is connected to your faith, that why is connected to your purpose, that's the first thing that you need. Because when things come up, because life will come up, it'll try to knock you off your path. And so you have to be so deeply rooted in the purpose of your business that no matter what comes up, you'll keep going forward. And so that's really important, because a lot of entrepreneurs, there's over 800 women-owned businesses that launch every day. Women are the fastest growing gender of entrepreneurs, but we're also the fastest to fail because we stop. We don't have the resources. We give up when things are tough. And so we have to be diligent when we know that our business is bigger than us, to keep pushing even when things and times are tough.
I love that. Love that. Love that. So, Tiana, you've been on a lot of, different media outlets, some major ones: the Huffington Post, ABC, CBS, and NBC, and Forbes. Could you tell listeners how one can reach these amazing goals in the media?
Consistency. First off, consistency. With the Huffington Post and being able to be a contributing writer for Forbes in the women's under 30 range, it was consistency. People being able to go online, find my work, see my videos, see my testimonials, go to websites, hear from others that have been able to be connected to the brand. Also, knowing that the brand was much bigger than a person. Media outlets want to see that you have a brand that is much bigger than you. If you're getting onto an outlet and you only want to talk about you, and what you have to bring to the table, they're not interested. They want to know about the people that you are here to help serve, because they have an audience that needs to be served. And so they want to make sure that you can serve your audience. So consistency, again, being on purpose, in purpose, having a message that produces a movement, and also having some type of give back in a sense. So especially in your local media outlets, they want to know that you are connected to the community. So you have to decide, you have to, figure out, how am I going to connect my brand to the community? So even when we do events here locally, we always have something that is connected to the community, because the media wants to jump all over that. The biggest thing is branding, consistency and relationships. Don't just jump in people's inbox talking about, can I be on your podcast, or can I be featured in your magazine, or can I be on your, what type of relationship are you looking to build? And here's the thing: you can outsource a lot of stuff. You can outsource stuff to your assistant. You can outsource stuff to your team and your secretary, but you cannot outsource relationships. And so it's very important that you're building relationships with the people that you want to put you on. And if you haven't gotten to the point where you can get on these media stations, put yourself on. Just like the name of this radio show, create your own seat at the table. Launch your own podcast. Launch your own radio show. until people can see your consistency and
Mm-hmm.
and what you can bring to the table.
I love it. And one thing that you said everything was awesome. Branding, consistency, and building genuine relationships. But building genuine relationships are worth more than money. And that is just key to a lot of things. A lot of people think it's just the partnerships or just, like you said, getting on the show. No, you have to build those relationships because you want people to ask you to come back.
Absolutely. And the thing is, what we have to understand, and this is what I teach, to my clients. I teach this to my 7-year-old. I teach this to my authors. Ashley, you and I just had a conversation about this recently
Yeah.
too, is that relationship is the new currency. So
Mm-hmm.
relationship is the new, money. Because again, you can have a one-time deal or a forever deal. I don't want any one-time, opportunities. I want opportunities that produce more opportunities. And if you want that, you have to build relationships.
Yes, I love that. So I'm so excited to ask this next question because I get excited every time Tiana talks about it. This is an awesome movement. Tiana, please tell the listeners about the Dear Fear movement. I'm so thankful and honored to be a part of this movement. So I'll let her take it away from here.
So wow, so Dear Fear came from obedience. Honestly, I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on obedience. I went couple of years ago in 2015. I launched my first book, 52 Shades of Fearless, in the saddest season of my life. I had just lost my grandmother, and my grandmother was like my lifeline. And so I just lost her. Things were pretty mundane. I didn't want to work with people. And God said, I need to sit you in a corner because it's time for me to build you. You spent so much time building other people that I haven't had a chance to work on you. And so he sat me still. And a lot of times we don't want to get still because in stillness, we're the only people that we're the only person that we get to sit with. And so in that stillness and obedience, I launched my first book, 52 Shades of Fearless. And because of the way fear and the enemy attacked me when I was writing this book, I wrote a letter to fear called Dear Fear. I had no idea what God was doing. I put that chapter as the second chapter in 52 Shades of Fearless. Lo and behold, a movement came out of that called A Million Fearless Strong. And another book called Dear Fear came out of that. And in that movement, we have reached digitally in between radio shows and things of that nature over 300,000 people. Because of 52 Shades of Fearless, I've graced over 30 stages sharing this movement. With Dear Fear, we have launched more than 40 authors, Ashley being one of them, best-selling authors. And teen authors. We're getting ready to launch Dear Fear 3 in April and Dear Fear Men in November. But most importantly, Dear Fear is bigger than an anthology. There are a lot of anthologies going around, and I think that's wonderful as long as they are anthologies that are full of purpose and not just about, getting, money or, it has to be about impact, right? And so, but I will say that there is, I stand beside this, and I know it may just be because, this is my baby, but there is no anthology, no compilation out there like Dear Fear. Dear Fear is a ministry on the move. Each author in this book has an assignment on their life. And we are out here breaking yokes. We are out here breaking chains. We are out here calling off the enemy's attack, binding and rebuking the enemy in the name of Jesus. Like it is till you're in it, you wouldn't understand. And so the Dear Fear movement is so powerful because it not only heals and delivers the authors that tell their stories, but anyone that gets connected to the movement gets that same releasing, and they get to recognize the enemy and come up against the enemy and challenge the enemy, and they get to self-reflect, and it's therapeutic, it shifts perspective, it's eye-opening, it's healing. And we understand that in this book that we can't heal until we deal with our stuff. And so in this movement, in this book, it's a personal development and leadership training. The authors, they get impact training on how to tell their story, marketing and sales training. It's just amazing. And we're not done. I have no idea where God is taking this Dear Fear movement. But when I tell you we are ready, we are locked and loaded. We have put on our war clothes, and we're ready. And so we are just, continue to move. If you want to learn more about the Dear Fear book, you can certainly go over to dearfearbook.com. You can meet all of our authors. You can learn more about it. And hey, when it's time for us to launch our next Dear Fear book, if that's something you're interested in, please let us know. Send an email so we can get you the application so you can get on the phone with the right people to be able to share your story.
I love it, and I can attest that it is a movement. You know, Dear Fear has definitely added to my platform, and I thank Tiana for the opportunity. Of course, God first, then Tiana, using Tiana to help me as well. And I mean, it's a very powerful movement, you guys. And if anybody's interested, please go check it out, dearfearbook.com, because she's right. It's a movement, it's a ministry, and it has been life-changing. So thank you, Tiana.
You are so welcome, Ashley, and thank you for being a part, honestly. Just thank you for, your obedience and sharing your story. We couldn't do it without women, amazing authors, obedient authors like you. So I just thank you and love you for it, girl.
Thank you so much. Love you too. So one more question. What did failure teach you, Tiana? I know you love to talk about this.
Girl, listen, do we have enough time? So here's the thing about failure, right? We have to give failure its credit. A lot of times we internalize failure, and that's when we fail. You only fail when you internalize failure. The reality is failure is only there to be able to give you another epic lesson. You can't succeed without failure. I don't work with people who have not failed. If you haven't failed at anything, you can't teach me anything. Right. And so failure and success are married. They go hand in hand. So when you ask me what has failure taught me, failure has taught me to be able to rise up to the occasion. Failure has taught me that this is just another opportunity to do something different. Failure has taught me, girl, look at you learning new things that you can now go charge for. Failure has taught me to get back up, dust myself off, look fear in the face and say, you tried it. Failure has taught me so much that has allowed me to create over and over six-figure brands and businesses. And so, for those of you who are afraid of failure, what you're really saying is that I'm afraid of success. And so you're going to have to look that thing in the face and break that off of you, because failure is only here to be able to teach you what you need to be able to get closer to your destiny. And so for me, that's what failure has taught me.
I love that. It's a lesson. It's not even failure. It's a lesson to get up.
It's a lesson.
Do it again. I love that. And that's a very true fact. So what can we expect from you in the future, Tiana? I know we got some awesome things going. I know you got some birds. I don't even know. I mean, you already told us some things that you got, but, you never know what's going to happen by the end of 2019 with Tiana Patrice. So what do you have in store that you can share? Because I know you're moving in silence, but what can you share right now?
That's so funny. God, there is so much, and God is just good and faithful, and I never know, what else He's gonna drop in my spirit. I do know that we are launching Dear Fear 3 here in April. We have some writing boot camps that are coming up that will be announced soon. One of the things is I've made a pivot, and so pivoting into more corporations and going into corporate and organizations is some things that I'm doing this year. Also, Dear Fear Men, we will officially announce that. This is kind of a sneak peek announcement. Our authors are already signing up their spouses, friends, boyfriends, husbands, everything. But Dear Fear Men launches in November. We'll officially start the intake process for that actually in April. There's only going to be 10 spaces. And so we're really excited about that. And of course, continuing to grace stages. And so taking on more speaking opportunities and things of that nature. So, God is faithful. So my year is definitely packed. But I am grateful for it, and I just thank God for what's to come.
Well, I'm excited to see all the great things that God is going to continue to do in your life this year. For all of our men that are listening, she is doing a Dear Fear Men. She only has 10 spaces. So if you are interested, please reach out. This is going to be another powerful movement. So Tiana, will you please let them know how they can follow and contact you and get involved?
Yes. So make sure that you are following me on all social media at Tiana Patrice. That's on Instagram. I don't do a lot on Twitter, but I am working on it. That's on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Go ahead and shoot me some friend requests. I love making new friends. You can also follow me on www.tianapatrice.com as well as www.winningceoalliance.com.
Please follow her and get involved in this movement. powerful. Tiana, I would like to thank you again for taking the time out of your very busy schedule, because you are very busy, to let me interview you today. It has been a blessing, and I can't wait to see all the great things that God is going to continue to do in your life, and the things that you're about to do to bless other women's lives like mine and women all over the world. So I'm just excited, and I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to invite you back at the end of the year to see all the great things that he's about to birth.
Thank you so much for having me. It's just truly an honor and a blessing. Actually, I'm so proud of you and all of the great things that you are doing and will continue to do in the lives that you are graced to change, girl. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Tiana. Thank you, love.
All right.
So I would like to give a special thanks to two of my mentors, Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. Also, I would like to give a special thanks to Dr. Larry White Sr. and Dr. Kimberly McLemore. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.